Good morning, or depending on when you're watching this, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name's Ross, and as always, told out of Voice of Radio. So today we've got new products to talk about, we've got a bunch of new stuff to talk about, and I, for one, am pretty gosh darn delighted about it. So let's start off with the Pokémon TCG Enhanced 2-Pack Blister. This has gone and been revealed, it is coming, and this looks fun. Now, this is actually going to look pretty gosh darn familiar to a product we saw a little while ago. But here's the thing. It is way better than the product we saw a little while ago. Now, I am, of course, referring to the Forces of Nature Blister. And that, on the face of it, looks very, very similar. Because the Forces of Nature Trio Blister, what we find here is essentially 2 packs and 3 cards. And for the Force of Nature Blister, we had Thundurus, Landorus, and Tornadus. Here, we've got the... Well, it's actually just called the Enhanced 2-Pack Blister. I don't think it's got necessarily a name like that. Not that I can see, at least. But you've got Galarian Moltres, Galarian Articuno, and Galarian Zapdos. And without putting too fine a point on it, they're better. Sorry, they are just better. You see, Galarian Moltres is like legit one of the best cards around in the game right now. Now, it's gonna wax and wane, especially depending on how good Mewtwo ends up being, on any given day. But as a single prize Pokemon, it is very definitely one of the very best and most widely played single prize Pokemon we've actually got in the game right now. Because it's got an ability whereby when you bench it, you can attach 2 extra darkness energy to it. For what it's worth, all the Galarian birds have equivalent abilities. But this also has the attack Fiery Wrath, 3 energy, 20 damage, plus 50 more for each prize card your opponent has taken. So basically here, if your opponent's taken 4 prizes, you're doing 220, which incidentally is the perfect amount of damage to KO your average Pokemon V, and it's less than that to KO something like Mew that's weak. And also, you can bench it with 2 energy, and then attach your energy for the turn, and it's literally going in a single turn. So this is a great, great attacker. And we've seen decks that aren't really necessarily dark decks, but, decks like Rapid Strike Urshifu as an example. We've seen decks like that play Galarian Moltres, and when they find themselves against a deck like Mew where they're being hit for weakness, they will literally just play the entire game with Galarian Moltres. It's a phenomenal card that sees a redonkulous amount of play. It's like borderline broken. It's phenomenal. And that's why it's so cool that it's coming in here. Now, Galarian Articuno is not as good. Does have a nice little attack that does 120 on your opponent's bench. But remember, we've got all kinds of decks out there at the moment. Things like, Shadow Rider Calyrex, that does more damage depending on how much psychic energy you've got on the field. And certainly if you're playing Shadow Rider Calyrex, this is an absolute no-brainer. You need to be playing some of these to get more psychic energy on the field to end up doing more damage. Now, Galarian Zapdos, it's a little bit sad. This is, it's not seen as much love, I'll be honest with you. It's got the same ability, or the same equivalent ability, lets you bench it with 2 fighting energy attached. But then you deal 70 damage plus paralysis if you discard all the energy. It's not as good. I mean, honestly, one of my favourite uses for Galarian Zapdos is just playing it and then using Energy Switch, because we've got lots of really good fighting Pokemon around, but accelerating fighting energy has not historically always been the easiest thing to do. So maybe, but it's a little bit awkward. Certainly Galarian Moltres is the absolute star here. And then, Galarian Articuno is good, and Galarian Zapdos has potential. But you're basically going to be paying like $10, and you're going to be getting yourself 2 packs and these 3 cards. That's kind of cool. But you know what else is really cool? The Forces of Nature Trio, that blister, that had Galaxy Holo. That had a different holo pattern. Now, let's be clear, and I do want to be super, super clear about this. I am not telling you for absolute certain that this will have a different holo pattern. I don't know. What I can tell you is the other one did, and this is an equivalent product, so there's a good chance that it does. Not confirming, not promising, not guaranteeing. I'm saying it's moderately likely, and that's brilliant. Because now all of a sudden, even if you don't necessarily want the cards to play with, you've still got a reason to go and pick this up. $10 is a little bit expensive for a product that only comes with 2 packs, but you got these free cards that are all pretty playable. And honestly, if you tell me that we're then getting them in with an alternate foil pattern, then yeah, I am all the way in on this. This is a very, very cool product indeed. And honestly, it's one that I'd recommend. The Forces of Nature Trio's cool, but the cards aren't particularly playable. This is cool and super playable. This is good. As a little side note, the Forces of Nature Trio, I've checked on the UK Pokemon Center website as I'm recording this video, readily available for a tenner, so it's not a product that you're going to really be struggling to get hold of. Oh, and you should get a coin in here as well. And to be fair, you can see on the screen there is clearly a Galarian Surfetch coin. I think I'm probably going to pick this one up. Now, the other news has come out today. We have got some new products that have gone and been revealed, and they're actually coinciding with the release of that weird V and V-Star promo pack. And I know they're coinciding with that for 2 very simple reasons. First of all, they're released on the same day. That's usually a bit of a giveaway. And secondly, they're featuring the Pokémon. Remember, that gets you, when you buy that product, you get a promo pack, and it gets you a V and V-Star of either Rotom, Zacian, or Zamazenta, and they are the Pokemon that are featuring on these, on these products. So we've got Zacian and Zamazenta sleeves. Now, these sleeves cost 792 yen. That is, incidentally, exactly what we would expect. This is the standard price for sleeves. You're looking at about $5.80 or around about £4.80. So they feature Zacian and Zamazenta, which, of course, are 2 of the V-Star you can get in this particular product. And they're beautiful. And if you like Zacian and Zamazenta, these are cool sleeves I would recommend rather highly. And if you don't like Zacian and Zamazenta, maybe skip these. Just putting that one out there. But hey, maybe you'd like Zacian and Zamazenta so much that the sleeves alone aren't enough. Wonderful news, ladies and gentlemen. We've got the double deck case Zacian and Zamazenta. Now, this is actually quite a lot more than your average, deck case as they call it, your deck box. It's 1,527 yen. That is a bit more. We've got a standard deck box we'll look at in a minute. So here you're looking at somewhere in the region of $11 or around about £9. And it's a double deck box, so you're going to be able to fit 2 decks in it, etc., etc. Again, these sleeves are pretty simple, if I'm honest with you, in deck box. If you like Zacian and Zamazenta, go for it. If you don't, skip it. Lovely. What I like way more are the Rotom sleeves. They are the same price as the Zacian and Zamazenta sleeves, but they've got all the different forms of Rotom. You've got regular Rotom, but then you've got the other 5. And it's just that. It's just all 6 forms of Rotom just sitting, chilling on the sleeves with various kind of coloured lightning symbols around. I love it. I think these sleeves are beautiful. I don't know if I'm going to put an order in at the Pokemon Center specially just to get these. But if I find myself on the Pokemon Center putting an order in anytime soon, I feel like these are going to end up being added to it. And hey, maybe the sleeves aren't enough. Maybe you need a deck box. Although, right, I'll be honest with you, I like and I loathe the deck box. Because on the one hand, if you look at the side of the deck box, you've got Rotom Phone and Rotom Drone, the cards being represented, which is awesome. On the other hand, they've got not all the regular Rotom on the front, but they've got the Rotom decks. I don't know. It just feels like they're being mean to some of the regular Rotom forms, that 4 of them make the front, but 2 of them don't. But then they've got Rotom decks, Rotom Drone, and Rotom Phone being repped as well, and maybe that makes it better. I don't know. This is your regular deck box, so it comes in at a disgustingly cheap 398 yen. So you're talking around about $2.90 or £2.40. The kind of price where I have to give you, I can't just give you a whole dollar figure because it's too cheap. Yeah, that's kind of beautiful. And then there is actually a deck file or a binder coming in as well. Now this is coming in at 2,750 yen, roughly what they end up charging for playmats a lot of the time. So it's not terribly cheap. You're talking about $20 or around about £17. But it's beautiful. It's so cool. And you will notice, of course, that on the front there you've got silhouettes of all the first partner Pokemon. It's a... well, they call it a 12 pocket collection file, so I'm assuming it's rows of 4, which is lovely, 3 rows of 4. It's just beautiful. It just looks really lovely. It's a binder you keep your cards in, but it's a particularly good looking binder. So this is another one of those where I think this is among the cooler products you'll see and something I think I can recommend with a pretty clear conscience. But for now, ladies and gentlemen, I want to know what you think about this new Blister and about these new products, so let me know in the comment section. Go nuts! Be nice. And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at TheWasi. That's where we talk about Pokemon and card games and Pokemon card games and all kinds of other things. And please do consider checking out patreon.com/PTCG Radio, where you can chat with us about Pokemon stuff. There's a Discord you can join. We share some deck lists over there. There's a pretty much weekly bonus pod where I'll answer all of your questions and chat about the latest news and all kinds of fun things. Like the lovely It's a Coaster, who gets a shout out for being a lovely person, because It's a Coaster is in fact a lovely person, not a coaster. But by far the most important thing, as always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching PTCG Radio.